This is my Volkswagen Golf that I bought off Marketplace for £1,100. You're watching the 5th episode of the Budget Build series. We've done so much to this car, but we've still got so much more to do. In today's episode, we're going to be doing some cheap DIY mods that you guys can do at home yourself for not too much money. That's going to make a big difference to the car. So let's crack on. The general purpose of the series is to bring a bit of reality back to YouTube. I often see YouTube builds of tens of thousands of pounds worth of cars with crazy budgets, which to the average viewer, these builds can feel out of reach and unrelatable. These expensive cars would take someone like me literally decades of hard saving to acquire, not to mention the insurance, running costs and modifications on it as well. But this series gives hope to the everyday petrol head that you too can buy something cheap and build it gradually with every payday, and in the end be left with a car to be proud of. In the series, I'll be following a strict £300 budget in each episode to put myself in the shoes of the average Brit after bills and activities. The idea behind it is to show if you spend enough time researching and a bit of time learning how to do things, you can have yourself a nice car you've built for yourself for not too much money. Right guys, we're going to be starting off with something nice, quick and easy. We've got some press plates to go on this car. Obviously what's on currently is the standard number plate, and I don't really like how it says German whip. It looks terrible. And also this surround I'm not too fan of. We've got these off eBay for I think £20 and they're pressed, so they actually come out of the number plate, as you can tell just there. And with the LED number plates that we fitted in the previous episode, it's going to make this back end look a bit nicer. Obviously we have the fronts to do as well, so let's crack on with this. Most of my cars I've had since passing my test have had press plates. Personally, it's one of those must-do mods on new cars I buy. They make the front and rear look much cleaner, especially if your old plates are roll and faded. A previous owner installed these plate surrounds and had the number plates replaced with a German whip personalised message. Yeah, definitely not my taste, but each to their own, but they have to go. All we need to do is unclip the surround to release the number plate, which will reveal 2 screws we need to take out. I gave the area a quick clean and drilled out this rivet as it was stopping the plate from sitting flat. There's exposed metal left, and with it being outside the car, I didn't want it rusting down the line, so I sprayed some paint over it to seal it. Next I cut up some adhesive strips, lined up the number plate and hope for the best. Same process on the front, but there's no rivets in the way, so a nice simple job to start off the vlog. Here we go guys, so the first modification of the day, we have got the press plates in. They look good, they're lined up and they're not going anywhere. I just think it looks better without the screws and use adhesive, but always use decent stuff. So this stuff is a 3M, which is a decent brand. Next thing we're going to be doing, we have these awful stickers that are on the back of the car. German whip, yeah, we already knew. So they have to go. There we go, stickers have now been removed. Every time I walked past this car to get into the house, it was just one of those things that really annoyed me about the side of the car. We're going to be painting the front and rear brake calipers. So I've been having to think of which route to go, and I'm going to go with the aqua blue. Now the reason for that is because we're on 256mm brakes already. In 17s and 16s they kind of look lost behind the wheel. I don't want to draw attention to the caliper painting them red because there's nothing worth looking at, if that makes sense. I feel like I want to do something different. Most of the cars I've had have all had red calipers on. Let's get these calipers done and we'll show you what they look like after. Starting off on the driver's front, I removed the caliper from the carrier so I could get better access. First up, I wire brushed the caliper to remove all the rust and flaking paint to give the new paint the best chance of adhering to the metal. Now to lay the colour coded aqua blue pearl paint on, which you can get in spray can form. Look how good that looks on its first coat. I then decided to do it the lazy way and spray it with the brakes attached to the car. Ultimately, you'll only see the front of the caliper when looking through the wheels, and it was awkward to paint resting on the brake disc. With the brakes back on, I applied a coat to both the carrier and the caliper. Now onto the passenger side, I laid on a couple of coats of paint, allowing it to dry in between layers. When I was about to build the driver's side, I noticed something scraped the paint off, and about 24 minutes later I realised what caused it. Yeah. Anyway, I sanded the caliper down again to make sure an even surface and built up a couple of layers again. Now both calipers have been painted, lacquered and dried, it's time to get the wheels on. Next up, I'm doing the rears now using the same process as before, but this time maybe not scrape the paint off with my trousers. Right guys, the calipers have now been done. Now before we show you, disclaimer, I am not a professional painter. The work generally looks half decent. I have no experience in painting other than doing the odd stuff on my own car. So take that as you will. I'm going to take the car out. We're going to continue this progress tomorrow. We'll show you the calipers and then we'll crack straight on. Guys, next up we're going to be messing around with some rear lights. Obviously in the previous video we did install these lucid smoked crystal rear lights, but in keeping with the DIY theme I'm going to be messing around with these with a little bit of red tint spray. Mark III Golfs have a ton of different rear lights, aftermarket OEM replacement ones. Hella has a huge range of different style rear lights. They've got all reds, blues, black, clears, red smoked red. Now if like me you like to live life on a little bit of a budget, I've got a set of rear lights which came on the car and we're going to try and replicate red smoked red to save, I don't know, 280 quid plus. Obviously we're not going to get the same look, but it's going to look similar and it's going to look decent. Let's crack on. I know I've already changed the rear lights in the previous video, but this series is all about trying new looks to see what I like the best. My vision can alter the deeper I get into a build, so I'm always flexible with what mods I can install and change. I'll mask around the areas I don't want to put paint on. Then I keyed the surface with Scotch-Brite. This allows the new paint to adhere better. Because it's a tint spray, I had to apply a few more coats for full coverage. The paint had reacted in places causing blotching, so I had to wait till it was fully dry before I can wet sand those areas flat and apply a couple of layers on top. Paint is definitely not my strongest skill, as you can see, but the final results came out pretty decent in my opinion. there we go guys, so the rear lights have now been installed. Definitely prefer them to these ones. Now in the cinematics you just saw, not everything is perfect. Like I've said earlier in the vlog, I'm not a painter. Painting is one of the worst skills I have, so I have no patience. One thing I do need to do for MOT purposes is change the indicator bulb, because now it's going to be flashing red, which is a fail in the UK. All we need to do is get a set of green bulbs, or we can buy some green tint spray and spray over some bulbs. As long as it displays sort of like an ambery orangey light, we should be good to go. Let me know what you guys think. These or these? Anyway, let's move on to the next. Alright guys, we can crack on with some more progress. So, yes, we are going to be changing the headlights once again, but it's going to be something that I'm going to let you guys make the option on. We have the standard lights that we still have. In the previous videos I did mention that there's lots of things you can do to the standard headlights, whether you put the eyelid on, which kind of makes it look like it's frowning. There are some inserts that you can put over the front of the light, which kind of changes up the look, and you can also tint the inside of the headlight, which is what we're going to do today. But some of you guys are probably going to be thinking, what's the point on putting these lights in if you're only going to change them? Well, ultimately the point of this video is to DIY things, to see if we can do things cheap and not too difficult. This is one of those jobs. See what it looks like, and we'll just go from there. I need to get inside the light so I can apply the paint. To do this, I need to remove these 4 clips. After that, I applied some heat around the joint to soften the glue and pried the glass away from the light. These headlights have a reflective chrome layer that will peel off if you put tape on it for masking. So I'm going to use a paintbrush and apply it manually. Once the paint dried, I put the light back together with the clips in and did the same with the other light. If you made it this far in the video, I'd massively appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed. Right guys, the front lights are now been installed. Let me know what you guys think in comparison, to the dual rounds. Personally, I think they both can work, but I think I'm still going to stick with the dual rounds. But it's interesting to see what you guys think, if you prefer these or the dual rounds. It's nice to do little cheap DIY mods that everyone can do at home, so I thought we'll try them on anyway. The good thing about these as well is now they've been sort of improved to the standard lights. I can actually put these up for sale and recoup a little bit of money, so it's not all lost. Now the front end is been changed again. Let's move on to something else. Thought I would take the opportunity to do the next modification. Well, this not really is a modification, but you can get aftermarket options for your car and install them. So we have some pedal covers which obviously go over the pedal. Now I don't know why every Volkswagen I've had, it's never had the accelerator pedal, but the other two have had rubber pads. For me, I'm just going to put another standard set in. You can get like a brushed aluminium with like rubber pads in. You can get lots of aftermarket options. So we're going to install these just to make it look a little bit neater. Obviously it has seen a little bit of wear here. That one's missing. That one's not too bad, but with the brand new ones in, it's going to look so much better. For some reason, the last couple of cars I've owned have had brake and clutch pedal rubbers, but no accelerator, which makes me itch as they don't match. Being 26 years old, the pedals have seen plenty of wear and this job is very easy to do, so I thought why not, but there's a problem. This is the original brake pedal and it's got a little trim that clips into there, and then this one doesn't. Yeah, great. And the pedal design is completely different as well, so it's not like I can try and make it fit. I'll leave the rubber one for the accelerator pedal in. I might put the original brake one back in and leave those two like that. It's annoying, but it is what it is. It happens when you're building cars, and especially buying cheap parts. Half of the time they're advertised as they fit, and they are far from fittings. Alright guys, last modification we're going to be doing is in the interior. We did an LED dashboard bulb swap on the Mark II Golf, and I'm pretty sure that these are the same. So it's a nice little upgrade for the interior. When you have your lights on, you can't really see much. So with the lights off, you can't really see the dashboard lights very well because they've got really old, cheap, nasty bulbs in. What we're going to do is put some LED ones in, keep them with the DIY theme. It is cheap, it's easy to install, and it takes a couple of things to remove. So let's crack on. The clock bulb upgrade is a must-do DIY mod on older cars as they have old-fashioned bulbs which often go out. Replacing them with LEDs not only makes them run cooler, but they run much brighter as well. I just need to remove the headlight switch and dash blank so I can get access to the screws holding the fascia plate on. Then I unscrewed the clocks and pivoted them downwards. This reveals the two bulbs I'm replacing. These bulbs just twist and pull out, and the same for the new ones. I then make sure they worked and built it all back up together. Underneath these bulbs there's a green filter that of course makes the light green, so swapping out for different colours can give you different looks. I'm going to stick with the green one for now and maybe change down the line, who knows. And that is the LED lights installed. If you guys are thinking about doing that yourself on something similar like old Volkswagens and stuff like that, if it doesn't work, spin the LED 180 degrees, because that's what happened on mine. But they're in the secure and they work a hell of a lot better than the standards do. So I would say that is a mission success. But to mention as well, while your lights are on, the dimmer switch still works. So we'll pull it down. So it's not on full blast all the time. Obviously when you're driving at night, sometimes you don't want all of your lights beaming in your eyeballs. Yeah. Beautiful. Alright guys, next modification we have tint. I want to do it for scientific purposes. This is easily the cheapest tint you can buy off eBay. It was £9. This is a 25% tint film as well. So let's crack on. Many jobs in my time I've gone in blind with no idea what to do, but this is where I learn best. Rather than dive into YouTube guys, I'm just going to let my brain do all the work and see where it takes me. The good thing about it is, if I mess up or I don't like it, I can simply peel it back off and start again. I'm not expecting anything amazing as this roll was under £10, but I'm curious if it's any good. Guys, the new tints are finally on and they look absolutely amazing. We're starting to get progressively better because we've done more. Then we've got this one. And then this is one's the best one. Look at that. Absolutely phenomenal. So guys, what I'm going to do is, if anybody is interested in having tints done, let me know in the link in the description, and I might offer it as a service with my... I'm joking, guys. Guys, I'm joking. Don't take me seriously. If you know me, you know I'm not a tint person at all. I never would have took this seriously. It was literally just a bit of a laugh. What was I thinking? It was supposed to be a quick job. It actually took longer than I thought. It is actually quite a long process messing up a set of tints. So anyway, let's clean all the windows, rip those two tints off, put the interior back together. Alright guys, pretty productive day today. We've got quite a lot of work on the car done, and I wanted to show you guys sort of the modifications you can do at home on a weekend with sort of basic tools and a little bit of time on your hands. Didn't cost too much money either, so overall I'm pretty happy with how today went. Let me know what your favourite modification of today was, and let's add up everything that we spent today. So the tints, that was mainly just for a laugh, was £9.92. The red tint spray for the all rears were £13.99, that's for 2 cans. I only used 1. It's always worth having too much. The press plates were £19.99. The rubber pedals were £7.50. The aqua blue paint for the calipers were £17.99. That came with a can of lacquer as well. We bought some extra wrapping tools for the tints as well. That was £7.26. And the LED bulbs I've already had laying around for years and years. I think you're probably paying, I don't know, 5 or 6 quid. So adding up everything, it was £81.65, which I don't think is bad considering all of the stuff we did today. So if you enjoyed this video and you're enjoying the content, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe. Go back and check out the other videos. This is episode 5, so we've got plenty more content for you to watch, and we've got plenty more content coming up. So we will see you in the next one. Peace.